At a city railway station, there lived a beggar. He survived by begging from the passengers who traveled on the trains that stopped there. One day, while he was begging, he noticed a tall man in a suit. The beggar thought to himself, "This man looks very rich. If I beg from him, surely he will give me good money." So the beggar went to him and asked for alms. Looking at the beggar, the tall man said, "You are always asking, but do you ever give anything to anyone?" The beggar replied, "Sir, I am just a beggar. I always ask from people. I don't have the capacity to give anything to anyone." The tall man said, "If you cannot give anything, then you have no right to ask either. I am a businessman, and I believe only in transactions. If you have something to give me in return, only then will I give you something." After saying this, the tall man boarded the train and left. The beggar sat there, thinking about what the man had said. His words touched the beggar's heart. He thought, "Maybe the reason I don't receive much alms is because I never give anything in return. But I am a beggar. I have nothing to give. How long will I keep asking without ever offering something in return?" After a lot of thinking, the beggar decided that from now on, whenever someone gave him alms, he would also give them something in return. But the question in his mind was, "What can I possibly give? I am just a beggar." For 2 days, he struggled with this thought. On the third day, while sitting near the station, he noticed some flowers blooming on the plants nearby. Suddenly, he thought, "Why don't I give flowers to people in return for alms?" He liked this idea. He picked some flowers and went to beg inside the train. Now, whenever someone gave him alms, he handed them a few flowers in return. The people happily accepted the flowers and kept them with smiles on their faces. Soon, the beggar noticed that more and more people started giving him alms. Every day, he would pluck flowers and exchange them for alms. But whenever his flowers ran out, the alms stopped too. This routine continued daily. One day, while begging, he saw the same tall man again on the train, the very man who had inspired him. Excitedly, the beggar went to him and said, "Today, I have something to give you in return for alms. If you give me money, I will give you flowers." The tall man gave him some money, and the beggar gave him flowers in return. The tall man smiled and said, "Wonderful! Today you have become a businessman, just like me." The beggar was filled with joy at these words. Once again, they struck deep in his heart. His eyes lit up, and he thought, "Now I have found the key to success. I am not a beggar anymore. I am a businessman. I too can become rich." He jumped off the train, looked up at the sky with excitement, and shouted loudly, "I am not a beggar. I am a businessman." The people around thought he had gone mad. From the next day onwards, that beggar was never seen at the station again. 6 months later, at the same station, 2 men in suits were traveling. They saw each other, shook hands, and one of them said, "Do you recognize me?" The other replied, "No, I don't think we've ever met." The first man smiled and said, "No, we have met not once, but twice before, both times on this train." The second man was surprised. "I don't remember. When was that?" The first man said, "The first time you told me what I should do in life. The second time you told me who I really am." The second man's eyes widened. "Oh yes, now I remember. You are that beggar. The first time I refused to give you alms, and the second time I bought flowers from you. But look at you today in a suit. Where are you going, and what do you do now?" The first man replied, "Yes, I was that beggar, but today I am a big flower businessman. I am traveling to another city for business." After a pause, he continued, "In our first meeting, you taught me the law of nature, that we only receive when we give. This rule of give and take truly works. I experienced it myself, but for a long time I only saw myself as a beggar. In our second meeting, you made me realize that I had already become a businessman. That changed my self-image. People weren't giving me alms anymore, they were paying for the flowers. Everyone was buying from me. At first, I was a small businessman in their eyes, but in my own eyes, I still saw myself as a beggar. After your words, I understood that I was no longer a beggar. With the money I earned, I bought more flowers and built a business. People here love flowers, and that love made me a successful flower trader. The two businessmen smiled, shook hands again, and walked together, discussing their businesses.